Time to take a seat. We've got another solid tale for you today in the R Lounge. Today in the R Lounge, you know how someone else's plate always seems tastier than your own. Apparently, some folks believe relationships function the exact same way. One person walked away before they could be abandoned, and another kept staring at someone else's dish until there was no partnership left to share a meal with. First up, you cannot measure up against suspicion. My 34-year-old male, former spouse 32 female, ended our marriage after she received a cancer diagnosis so she could depart first. Now she wants to return. Should I offer her a second opportunity? I met my spouse, I'll refer to her as Anna, during our opening year of college. We dated throughout university and tied the knot right after she finished her studies. Life stayed pleasant for a stretch until Anna found a lump in her right breast. I urged her to get it examined. She hesitated at first but finally agreed because breast cancer appears in her family line, and sure enough, that proved to be the case. The positive side, if it can be viewed as positive, was that the breast cancer she developed responded extremely well to treatment, involving chemo and radiation. Given her family background, her physician also advised a double mastectomy. This sent Anna into a deeply gloomy state. I recommended she seek counseling, but she completely rejected the idea and declared she never wanted me to bring it up again. So I tried my hardest to stay uplifting and helpful toward her. I arranged leave from my job to attend every single appointment alongside her. I handled 100% of the home duties indoors and outdoors. I managed all the grocery runs. I chauffeured Anna wherever she wished to go. I arranged thoughtful outings for the two of us. I provided her a full hour of foot massage each evening. I truly performed every possible task. Roughly 6 weeks into her care, Anna raised the notion of spending a week at her sister Sarah's place. This actually eased my load since I was exhausting myself trying to handle everything, and I figured a short separation might benefit us both. 2 evenings into her visit with Sarah, Anna phoned me and announced she desired a divorce. She explained she had researched numerous accounts of husbands who deserted their partners once illness struck, and she resolved to exit before I could abandon her. Words failed to capture how deeply this shattered me. I adored my spouse. She meant the world to me. I pleaded with her to rethink. I explained I had never considered departing, not even for a moment. I once more encouraged therapy. She declined once more. I proposed couples counseling together. She refused. I inquired what steps might persuade her of my commitment to remain. She replied nothing existed. I was male and therefore I would eventually depart. That concluded the matter. The process required about a year due to our location, credit COVID, yet at last everything reached finalization. I sold the home and divided the funds equally with my now former spouse. I preferred not to remain in that community any longer, so I requested a job transfer and relocated to a place roughly 2 hours distant. Over the following couple of years, I concentrated more on personal growth. I adopted a dog. I went on several outings, though nothing became serious. I took up hiking as an interest and began tending a garden. Suddenly, Anna contacted me 3 weeks earlier. She mentioned she had visited town with companions, spotted me, and all her previous emotions flooded back. She claimed she had been unwell and not thinking clearly then, and that I should not hold her statements or choices against her. She declared she still cared for me, always had, and regretted ending things. She pleaded for another opportunity. I feel thoroughly mixed up. Honestly, I still care about Anna, yet I no longer feel romantic love toward her. She crushed my spirit. I felt destroyed when she chose to end the marriage. Recovering my mental balance required considerable time, yet I also recognize she truly occupied a difficult mental space because of the illness. Do I have an obligation to her and our shared history to listen fully? I fear that reconnecting would leave me constantly anxious she might keep one foot ready to exit, though perhaps that judgment proves too harsh. I remain uncertain what action to take. Should I grant her the second chance she seeks? Update. First, I want to express appreciation to everyone who shared remarks on my initial post. I finally understand the meaning behind people saying their inbox got destroyed. I shared that account and went to sleep never anticipating such massive attention. When I awoke, the post had been locked, unsure of the reason, preventing any replies to comments. Yet I reviewed as many as possible and attempted to weigh every perspective. Numerous people advised contacting my former spouse, Anna, for a face-to-face discussion. The strong majority felt meeting in person would reveal everything necessary, and they proved correct. That approach struck me as sensible. I messaged her and she eagerly accepted the meeting, which occurred yesterday once I finished work. I selected a nearby coffee shop as the location. Perhaps it appears unkind, but I preferred avoiding my residence or any secluded spot just to stay cautious. Anyway, Anna had already arrived when I showed up. She rose and embraced me. I allowed it, though I did not return the hug. Then we took seats. I requested she stay silent while I spoke, after which I shared everything. I will summarize here because I cannot recall every detail precisely. I believe I spoke continuously for around 10 minutes while she simply sat and grew tearful. Yet I described how thoroughly the situation devastated me. I stated I would have remained by her side through every difficulty no matter the circumstances. I explained my love for her had not shifted after her diagnosis or treatments. I recounted how shattered I felt after she started the divorce process. I detailed the difficulty of rebuilding myself afterward. Many of you noted that if Anna and I reunited, concern would arise over her reaction during any future illness or if I became unwell, and those points held validity. So I expressed that concern as well, and she grew angry and cut me off then. She claimed I acted unfairly by failing to account for her mental condition at the time. She insisted her thinking had been clouded then, but clarity had returned now. I used the moment to inquire whether she had attended counseling. She replied she had not, held no intention of doing so, and felt no need for it. I must confess that response stung somewhat. I asked her the core question of why. That single query had occupied my thoughts for months, and she answered that she had searched for support communities and encountered many women sharing tales of partners who left. She even referenced Reddit, interestingly enough. She explained she had discussed the matter with her sister, Sarah. Anna noted that Sarah, to her credit, had attempted to discourage the divorce, yet between online content and certain friends of Anna's, she concluded she needed to proceed to appear as a resilient woman. Those were her exact words to me. I cannot recall additional specifics precisely, but that statement will remain unforgettable. She crushed my heart and discarded our partnership because somehow in her view that equated to demonstrating strength. She then began attempting to persuade me toward reconciliation, yet at that stage I stated clearly it would not occur. Ultimately for me, the issue centers on trust. I would constantly fear the identical situation repeating. She wept extensively and continued trying to change my mind for a short period. When I stood to depart, she flung an iced coffee into my face and rushed out. So yes, reconciliation is definitely off the table. I received the closure I had long desired. I wish the feeling brought more relief. I have been reflecting on the encounter for the past day and a half. I keep questioning whether I might have handled something better. Some approach that could have preserved our partnership, yet I recognize none existed. I have blocked her contact information. I somewhat hope never to receive word from her again. You remained present when circumstances grew difficult. You performed every possible action to assist her through one of the most challenging periods of her life. You appeared consistently each day. Rather than evaluating you by your conduct, she assessed you according to accounts about other men she encountered online. I hold considerable compassion for the ordeal she faced. A cancer diagnosis, chemotherapy, and a double mastectomy would prove emotionally crushing for nearly anyone. Yet at a certain stage, fear can clarify behavior. It does not justify every choice made. And then when you informed her that trust had vanished, she hurled iced coffee at you. That reaction confirmed precisely the concern you held. When the results she desired failed to materialize, she reacted with aggression instead of honoring your emotions. I do not believe you are departing because affection disappeared. I believe you are departing because trust does not simply reappear merely because someone feels regret over damaging it. What is your view? Share your opinions in the comments below. Coming next, an account illustrating why communication holds importance. Because if you never inform someone they are irritating you, eventually your limit arrives in the form of fried calamari. Am I the jerk for requesting, not demanding, that my boyfriend exchange meals with me when I dislike what I selected at a restaurant? Using an alternate account, since I serve as a founder and moderator on my local city's subreddit, and my boyfriend could readily discover this. I have been acquainted with my boyfriend for years, actually dating for about 3 months now. He is the kindest person, and I recognize he has experienced serious pain previously, so I feel glad we are finally connecting after remaining flirtatious acquaintances since middle school. We are both 25 at present. Whenever we dine out, he consistently selects the simplest item. 99% of the time it is a plain cheeseburger, ketchup separate, with honey mustard for his fries. He actually enjoys unusual cuisine, yet claims that menus and decisions create stress, so he prefers avoiding the mental effort. I enjoy sampling unusual dishes, and for me that forms the entire purpose of eating out. To me, the experience feels thrilling. My difficulty arises when items always appear and sound superior to their actual taste, and I realize I simply desired a burger instead. So typically I inquire whether he will trade with me, and he always agrees without any complaint. Most occasions he even remarks how enjoyable his meal turned out. To me, the arrangement benefits us both. It encourages him beyond familiar choices and prevents food from being discarded. Last evening we both finished work extremely late, so we gathered at a sports bar. They offered a calamari special that sounded appealing. He selected a cheeseburger as always. I simply lost interest in the calamari once it arrived, so I requested he trade with me. He refused. I asked the reason and mentioned I preferred not wasting it. He responded, "Then you should not have ordered the damn thing." I reacted with surprise. He then launched into a lengthy complaint stating I treat him like a waste bin. He is an adult. I am acting childish. Stop forcing unwanted items onto him, and similar remarks. I observed that his speech seemed prepared in advance. He admitted perhaps it was since I demand his food nearly every outing. I began to cry and he told me not to begin that nonsense. Take both plates, and he stood and left. He has neither called nor messaged, and the time is now 6 a.m., and I genuinely expected an apology call by this point. I contacted my sister, and she basically stated you are the jerk for waking me at 5:30, and he will interpret your asking as pressuring. That is truly poor behavior, placing that burden on him, and she essentially ended the call. Since she voiced that opinion, am I the jerk? The judgment is jerk. Let us examine what the community offers to support that conclusion. Leading off, you are the jerk. It registers to him as pressure for him to consume the item you determined you disliked. That would irritate me intensely, and honestly your boyfriend tolerated it far longer than I would have. Also, who telephones someone at 5:30 in the morning to vent about such matters? You are the jerk. Select dishes you enjoy like an adult. The original poster responds, can I mention he never indicated discomfort with my requests to switch prior to last evening. The following commenter states you are the jerk. Why must he manage your experiments? If the result disappoints, simply order differently, but ensure you cover the cost of both. The original poster answers, then considerable food ends up discarded. The original poster provided an update the day after the November 10th post. Final revision update. Addition, well, he telephoned and refused to allow me any response and declared he requires space, and that if unhappiness already exists within the first 3 months, then the partnership does not suit him. I suppose all of you proved accurate, and I am a jerk and currently a single jerk. Honestly, I believe your boyfriend arrived at his breaking point. The core issue is not truly the meals. It is that he finally expressed feelings he had carried for an extended period. His remark appearing rehearsed indicates he had considered this matter for some time, and simply never felt secure enough to raise it until frustration overflowed. I also find it unreasonable to present the situation as preventing waste. You are the individual selecting items you feel uncertain about, and when dissatisfaction occurs, the resolution falls to him. Even if he consented on every previous occasion, that does not equate to enjoyment. I can comprehend why the reaction seemed sudden to you, yet for him, it likely represented the latest instance in a long series. Occasionally, individuals remain silent until frustration has already surpassed manageable levels. Do you believe validity exists in this assessment? Inform us in the comments, and thank you for spending time with us today in the R Lounge. Remember to like and subscribe and activate that notification bell so you avoid missing our following video. Until next time, and kindly return your chair to its original position.